Hi, my name is Daniel Ence, and I'm going to talk about my project for the Python in the Cloud course. Basically, the project is trying to solve a problem that I encountered at a previous job where I wanted to know when new data sets of interest were uploaded to a publicly available repository. The repository in this case is the NCBI SRA database, which contains all the publicly funded, publicly available genetic sequencing data since about 2006. And so you can imagine with the explosion of genomic data, there's a lot of data sets in there. And even though NCBI SRA provides a pretty good website for filtering and searching, I wanted to have automated and 24/7 updates on when data sets of interest would arrive in the NCBI SRA database. So the way I envisioned to solve this is using a few different AWS solutions that I've outlined here. So have a AWS glue crawler to update the database on a weekly basis. This probably is the kind of the cadence or pace that we need to know when new data sets arrive. The glue crawler will populate an Athena database with the metadata for all the sequencing experiments in the NCBI SRA. A separate database would also contain the taxonomy, basically the descriptions of the species that we can use to search the NCBI SRA database for species of interest. One thing that's enabling this is that the SRA makes its metadata tables available publicly on S3 buckets. And so here we're interested in the metadata bucket and the taxonomy bucket, and they also have the schema for the tables available in another page. And a few outcomes I envisioned for this project, basically a Python package that runs SQL queries on the metadata and the taxonomy together. And along with that, also one thing that the course would allow me to do better is to make a Lambda that could send email notifications when data sets of interest arrive in SRA. And if this were like a full-time job thing, also to kick off a containerized workflow to process the new data sets that arrive in the SRA. So how much have I got done? I've got the crawlers set up. This was actually pretty easy to do. And then I have the databases set up. So here's the metadata database. We can look at a preview here and see that here's the first 10 entries from that database. And combining this with other tables from the metadata database, we'll be able to find samples from a particular technology, from a particular species of interest, or experiments of interest. And then the SRA taxonomy table, has this numerical ID, which is a consistent ID for species that we can use to query or to join with the metadata table. And so this is a start. It's not complete really where I thought it would be, but I think that the course overall provided a solid basis to get started on using a lot of these AWS services. Thanks.